How we doing, everybody? How art thou? It is Saturday afternoon, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. We are live for Q and Assault Week 13. This is the only place that you can get the Q and Assault. The only place you can get assaulted is 2 p.m. Eastern Time right here on this YouTube channel. And the only way to get into the Q and Assault is by being a Big Dog member, BDGE.co. You'll get access to this live stream, private live stream, only for the members. You'll get our weekly rankings, our waiver wire rankings, everything, and all of it in between. What's going on here? How we doing, everybody? What's going on? Oh, Justin, I made you way too big there. Let's pipe it down a little bit. Let's throw you up here. Let's say what's up to everybody in the chat. Jags or Jets defense. I like the Jags. The Jags were my top pick for a defensive streaming team this week. They are 8.5-point favorites, which is very, very big. They are at home, which is always a nice, sexy little tiebreaker for me. And they were playing against a backup QB. So for me, it is the Jaguars. Justin was good. Justin H. Jordan Love or Russell Wilson. I feel like Justin isn't going to get the job done. I have no problem sitting Justin Herbert this week. I did put him in the slip as my top quarterback. That's neither here nor there. But they're playing against. Actually, you know what? Let's pull things back a little bit. Let's get to the weather. Let's get to the weather because Weatherman Nick loves to drop the big facts on you. Okay, got the weather pulled up as we do every Saturday, and the only game on here that's orange is the Chargers in Foxborough. As you can see, rain looks widespread. We expect a soggy one here. This is always available to you at Roto Grinders, which is free. Steady, moderate rain for most of the game, tapering off a bit late. It will cause some issues for the offenses, even with light wind. So I have no problem fading Herbert, especially with how banged up the offense is, how bad Austin Eckler has looked. Even Keenan Allen's a little bit banged up in this one too. So not great for Herbie. I don't hate I don't hate the idea of pivoting elsewhere. When we look at the other matchups, we have Jordan Love who's playing really, really well. KC's a good defense. So we got Russ playing at Houston. That is a 47.5-point over-under. I do kind of like Russ this week. I like Jordan Love. I think I actually might lean Russ here. They're going to go run heavy, but I think they come away with the win, and I think they put up a decent amount of points here. Defense sleepers. If you check out the waiver wire rankings I have on these sites, those will probably be my best sleepers because they are all available on the waiver wire, which means they're not highly owned, which means they're probably sleepers. So if I go look at the options, we have the Jags. I actually like the Falcons because we are favorites in that game and we're playing against Tim fucking Boyle. So I like Atlanta more than I like the Jets. Tampa Bay, they are like 5.5-point favorites at home against the Panthers, who have basically just, all right, they're 4-point favorites now, but they've just fired everybody. So I think Tampa Bay is a sleeper as well. Who else do we got here? I don't hate the Rams. They're playing against the Browns. I actually like the Browns better with Joe Flacco at QB than DTR, as weird as that sounds. So they would be the lowest on my list, but still on the list. He sucks on the road. Yes, he does. LaCroix, hang. I'm fucking addicted to these things. I drink like 4 or 5 a day. It's like my normal water. Atlanta or Jets defense. I think I kind of just answered that. I like Atlanta more than the Jets. Cup or Rashee Rice half PPR. I mean, it's a reasonable question, but I'm still going with Cooper Kupp. I think the way that they're using Rashee Rice, it is a little bit higher than it had been in previous weeks, but it's not full yet. It's not full yet. He's not like an 85% guy. They're still using him in gadgety ways. Like his average depth of target, I think, is still around like 5 yards, which is not great, which means he needs to break off some big touchdown for the most part to get in. I like Rice, but I'm probably not going to throw him over Kupp. Hang. Tier PPR. For my super flex, we've got Ritter, Christian Watson, or Logan Thomas. I am not going Christian Watson. I don't think I can, in good faith, recommend a tight end over a quarterback. Doesn't feel great. Let me look at some numbers, though. Let's see. In terms of fantasy points allowed to the tight end, Washington is playing, Miami, right? Miami allows the 10th most fantasy points per game to the tight end position, but they spread the ball around so much, man. Curtis Samuel eats, and Terry has big games, and Jahan Dotson randomly has good games. Yeah, I'm just going to go with Ritter here on the hopes that, Bijan can continue to push them down the field, and then Ritter maybe, sneaks in for a rushing touchdown and a passing score. Welcome, Mike. How you darn? Start 3, non-PPR. We have Ridley, Christian Kirk, Ayuk, Puka, and Rashee Rice. Ooh, okay. So Ayuk is for sure going into my lineup. I love that matchup against Philly. We have, Jacksonville is 8-point favorites, 9-point favorites against the Bengals. Ooh. Do we want to split the difference here with Jacksonville? Ridley's the hottest of them right now. In terms of the Jacksonville receivers, let's look at the Bengals pass defense and see what their splits are out wide receivers versus slot. So fantasy points per game to the wide receivers, the Bengals are 12th in the bad way. They allow the 12th most. Against the slot, they allow the 12th fewest. So they're a little bit better against the slot. I don't know how sticky that is, but I do think Ridley's playing really well. I think they're utilizing him the right way. So I think I might lean Ridley here. I think he's got a pretty good chance for a score. Love Ayuk. Rashee against. I'm going to go Ridley, Ayuk, and man, I don't have a strong take on the other three, to be honest with you. I don't have a take between the other three, but I'll give the first two to you, and then I'll let you toss up in the air the other one. Nico or Jamar Chase full PPR. That's so tough, dude. Jamar Chase has been just knocked down a peg. I'm actually going to go Nico here, which might be surprising, but I really think Tank Dell is going to be either not playing, and if he does play, which is probably likely, he'll either play, but I think he'll be limited. So I think Nico ends up with a big game and has a lot of targets. I think him and Schultz will have a big game. T. Higgins or Zeke half PPR? Yes, I know it's gross. Yes, it is gross. I'm not touching T. Higgins this week. So with that said, yeah, I'll take Zeke against the Chargers' terrible run D. What's up, Sit? What's up? Need to sit. I just combined Nick and Sit into one word. What's up, Nit? What's up, Sick? Hang. Need to sit one. We have B-Rob against the Dolphins. We have Kyron against the, doesn't matter. Kyron's my one there. And then we have Devon Achane against the Commanders. I'm gonna sit B-Rob. Kyron is for sure in there. He's like a top 3 fantasy running back this week. Achane, I have confidence in. I think he could have played last week, but it was a really short week, so I don't really have a lot of worry about him being healthy. And they're playing Washington, which means all their running backs should be involved. They're like 10-point favorites. And B-Rob, on the flip side, he might catch some passes, but when Gibson's on the field, his pass work comes down pretty significantly. So if Gibson was out, I would say B-Rob and Kyron, but because Gibson is playing, I'm going to go Achane and Kyron. With buys, is an easy week for question besides defense. Jets, Rams, Steelers have a great weekend as well, boss. Facts. A lot of buys. 6 teams on buy. Would you bench Keenan Allen for Rashee with weather looming and Keenan banged up? No, I would not. I mean, Keenan, I was watching some videos today about them interviewing him in the locker room. He said he's going to be fine. I'm not actually worried about him, missing time or being seriously banged up. And if you look at the last few games, his target totals, I mean, you can go. He's had one game with fewer than 9 targets this year. That is fucking insane. The last 3 weeks, 16, 16, 14. And then before that, 9, 10, 9, 11, 5, 20, 10, 9. Imagine sitting someone that's had 16, 16, and 14 targets over the last 3 weeks. You sit him, and then he just has another 14 targets. You're going to want to smack yourself in the face. Start 1, half PPR. We have Jahan Dotson, Christian Watson, and Justin Watson. Okay, so This is one where I might consider throwing Christian Watson back in. We're starting to see Jordan Love heat up. We saw Christian Watson get involved last week. I have so little trust in Justin Watson. Problem with Justin Watson is that his floor is so low. Realistically, he's had like one game this year that was cool, and then people started him, and then he followed that with a 1 catch for 3-yard game, and that is what his floor is. So I don't trust Justin Watson at all. Jahan Dotson, realistically, his numbers have been shit when Curtis Samuel's on the field. Since Curtis Samuel has returned, Jahan Dotson's averaged like 4 targets a game and 25 receiving yards. So I don't hate Dotson on paper just because like you expect the Dolphins to score a lot and Sam Howell's probably going to have to fucking throw a ton. But I also kind of think that might be the same for Christian Watson. So those two are really, really close for me. I think I'd ultimately probably lean Christian Watson. I think he's a big-time athlete. I think he wants to show up in prime time. So I would also think that he's more likely to score a touchdown. So I'd go his way in half PPR. Mr. Ryan, we got Kyron, Gibbs, Bijan, Swift, Achane. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Played the waiver clutch this year for real, dude. You picked up both Kyron. I'm assuming Achane. I don't think the other ones would be on the waiver. All right, so like I said, Kyron is for sure there for me. I'm going to throw Bijan into my lineup, and then I'm going to toss it up between the 2 Lions running backs. I definitely want to have one of those 2 in there. I think it probably boils down to your preference. I think game script probably dictates Demont to have a better game. I feel safe with his floor and the fact that you have such other good options. Like, I think your team's probably pretty good. So I think ultimately I'd go Kyron, Bijan, and Montgomery. Start 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 flex. We got Bijan, Swift, Breece, Warren, Debo, Downs, Rice, Sutton, Higgins. Okay, so let's start with the running backs. Bijan's definitely getting in there for me. You got Breece Hall, you got Jalen Warren. So I need 1 more of those. Oh, and Swift too. Okay. Swift just doesn't really score touchdowns ever, bruh. I actually think I'm probably going to go with Warren as my running back too, just because the matchup is so good. The Cardinals allow so many fantasy points to running backs. So I'm going to go Bijan and Warren. Breece is an interesting one for me. Let's go with the wide receivers too. Let's get the 2 wide receivers out of the way. Debo is going to be one for me. I'm going to sit Higgins. I like Sutton. I like Rice. Downs is cool too. 13 targets last week. Good matchup versus the Titans. Don't really know how healthy he is though, so that might be a tiebreaker for me. Sutton's been really good, dude. I think I'm going to lead Sutton, especially with a 47.5 point over-under. So we're going to go Bijan, Warren, Debo, Sutton, and then we need a flex between Swift, Breece. I didn't get a scoring type, which is kind of significant here. Is it full PPR, half PPR? Breece has been bad for fantasy, and the Falcons are very good against running backs. The one thing I will say, actually, no, never mind. Get that thought out of my fucking mind. I think I'm probably leaning a receiver here, actually, and I think I'm probably leaning Rice. I think Rice would probably be my flex play, which is fucking insane. OXG Alex, what up? With Schultz out, I need a tight end. I have Taysom, but can pick up Logan Thomas and Ott in full PPR. Who do you like the most? Definitely Taysom. If you could play Taysom at your tight end, dude, think about their weapons being out. Think about Olave, Rashid, and Michael Thomas being out. They're going to utilize Taysom a lot, and they're probably going to utilize him in the red zone a lot. So definitely Taysom this weekend. You like Eckler this year over Saquon, Etienne, or Kyron? Like rest of season? No. I don't know if we've seen anything that like makes us feel good about him being actually healthy. I don't believe that Eckler's cooked. Like he looked good the first couple weeks, and then he had a high ankle sprain. So what's more likely? Just out of nowhere, he just cooked himself, or the high ankle sprain is still fucking him up. That's what I would probably point towards. So I don't know if we've seen any evidence that he's healthy. I definitely don't like him over Kyron. Etienne's been a little bit slowed down, but he's still getting like 25 touches a game in one of the best offenses. So Eckler for sure. Saquon's the only one I feel like you can make an argument for, but like right now it's kind of a toss up just because Saquon and Eckler are like in almost similar situations. Saquon's playing better right now. That could flip really quickly. But ultimately, no, I'd probably rank Eckler fourth there. Zay Jones is healthy, so we're on the Ridley train. That's facts. That's facts. Hurts, Tua, or Kyler start two. Ooh, okay. So we're definitely starting. We're definitely starting Hurts. You'll just never sit him in fantasy. Then you have Miami against Washington. You have Kyler against the Steelers. I think both of them. I like both of them. I would go Tua there though against Washington. Washington's defense is a tragedy. Start three, full PPR. Amon Ra, yes. Never ever ask me that again. Tank Dell, Debo, or Chase. Okay, so my thought on this with Tank Dell, I am worried about the ankle. Let me see if we have any like updates, like real time. Tank Dell data projects 2 out of 3 chance of playing, so 65% chance of playing. Mild performance hit projected, and the biggest concern is re-injury risk up to 15 to 20%. So with a speed guy like him, I don't like him fucking around with the calf injury. So I'm gonna be honest, man. Just out of using a tiebreaker for the injury, I'm gonna sit Tank. As hard as that's gonna be. Ryan, we got Dell, Deontay Johnson, Ridley, Marquise Brown, Higgins need 2. So again, I'm probably going to sit Tank. I'm going to sit Higgins. I'm going to play Ridley for sure. So we're left with Marquise Brown versus the Steelers, and we are left with Deontay Johnson versus the Cardinals. Now, Deontay's been kind of shit since, I don't know, for a minute now, and they throw the ball over the middle a lot. They throw the ball over to Pat Freiermuth a lot, but they are playing, Deontay and Ridley here. Pick one, half PPR, Pat, Dobbs, Zay Jones, Josh Reynolds. Big Pat. I think Pat runs it back here. Half PPR for flex, Ridley or Achane. Ooh, that's a good one. Damn. I guess the tiebreaker would be that Achane is coming back from injury. I feel relatively good about both of them, to be honest. I don't have a strong lean either way, Jacob. I legitimately might flip a coin. If you want me to do that for you, I will. If this was my lineup, I would straight up flip a coin. So the Belkin head silver is going to be Ridley. This pure white is going to be Achane. It's pure white. It's Achane. Achane it is. I think actually I would probably lean Achane either way. Heard you talk about the Jags being the streaming D you like the most at the start. Would you play them over the Browns this week? Okay, so I mentioned the streaming D because they're probably more widely available. Like the Browns are not available in most places, but I would still, yes, very much. Like I've said this a million times, but the criteria I look for in a streaming defense is one, you want a defense that is projected to win their game. So you can look at the actual game itself. The Jags are 8.5-point favorites over the Bengals. The Browns, on the other hand, are 4.5-point underdogs against the Rams. So that is huge red flag number one. You don't want to be an underdog to the team. Two, you want a team playing at home. Jags are at home. The Browns are not at home. So those right there off the bat are enough for me to go Jags over Cleveland easily. Hollywood Brown injury or Greg Dortch or play both? Ooh. Dude, so Hollywood, I don't know if we have like a clear, is he just sitting again? Because he missed practice last week with this heel injury, then played and went 6 for 88 or something. So I don't know if it's the same thing and they're just resting, but this week feels like it's a little bit more serious because he has missed 3 straight practices, which means he's probably going to miss. If that's the case, I feel good about Greg Dortch. I wouldn't play both of them though. I don't feel great about having 2 Arizona pass catchers here. We have Hollywood Brown. Let's see. Data heavily favors sitting, but he played last week without a hit. Gut leans slightly toward playing. So, yeah, here's the thing. Like, if Hollywood's active, I'm probably playing Hollywood. If he's not active, I'm fine playing Dortch, but I would not play both. Half PPR, Stevenson or Montgomery. Give me DeMont for show. Head PPR, need 2. Cooper, Evans, Nico Collins, Mixon. It's going to be Evans for me as 1 for sure. Evans eats up the Carolina Panthers. I got no faith in Mixon. Collins I really like. I like Cooper too, with Joe Flacco. And the matchup against the Rams, but he is dealing with the rib injury, so I'll probably use the tiebreaker there and go with Evans and Collins. As if Olave is healthy, would you go Olave? He's not playing. He ain't playing. I feel like he's already been ruled out, no? Am I making that up? Let's see. Yeah, he still needs to clear. I guess, listen, if he does clear, let me pull back a little bit. If he clears, I would play him over Swift. Wouldn't play him over Bijan. I wouldn't play him over Demont, but I'd play him over Swift. Last question, full PPR. We got Ramondre, Singletary. I love the Denver matchup. Yeah, I mean, it is very good matchup for Singletary. I'd like to think that the player eventually will show himself, though. And I think I like Ramondre better. He's been playing better, and the matchup against the Chargers is really good, especially in full PPR. As good as Singletary's been, I would personally probably roll Stevenson there. Also, not sure if anything has been said yet, but do you think JT will be healthy come fantasy playoffs? Yes, I do. I think there's a chance he plays next week. If not, he should almost 100% be active for the week after that. With that, you saw Marquise Brown or McBride over Eckler then, mainly asking for playoffs, full PPR. No. I want McBride in my lineup for sure, but I would not play him over Eckler. That might be a little bit too far. I guess, we're talking about the playoffs too, so I think we'll have a lot more information about Eckler by then. Eckler will either be like kind of off our radar by then, or I think he'll be at full health by then. Got one more for you. Hell, that's what I'm here for, baby. Amari Cooper, Zay Jones, Dobbs, or C. Watson. Need 2 full PPR. Here I'm going to go Cooper and Watson. Can't do McBride or Kelsey right now. Nah. You knew that. But you knew that. How does that not count at all? Am I sure? No, I'm probably going to be fucking wrong. But I think if you look at, listen, if Olave's out there and Michael Thomas and Shaheed are both out, just imagine how many targets Olave's going to get. Look what he did last week before he left with the concussion. He was like 9 for 115 in the first half. And they're playing the Lions, whose passing defense fucking donates points to wide receivers. They are allowing the 7th most fantasy points to wide receivers. They have allowed the 3rd most touchdowns to wide receivers. It's not good. Eagles or Falcons defense. This is another one where the San Fran's offense is too good to play the Eagles defense. And the Eagles defense lets up a shitload of points in passing yards. So I'd go Falcons there. Falcons are favored. Eagles are not. Falcons are the GOAT too. So it's not really a big deal. Girl. What else we got there? Standard, Chase, or London. I'm going Chase. The London matchup against the Jets cornerbacks does not look great. Jets or Falcons D. We are going with Falcons there. What's your final score for the 49ers Philly? I think 49ers win. I think the rain is mostly gone by kickoff. Okay, yeah, I like 49ers by. I liked them when they were 2.5-point favorites. Like I would have taken the bet on that. I don't love them at 3, but I'll say 24-22 San Fran. Or 25-23. 2 points. 2 points. 2 or 3 points. 25-22. Fuck it. What about sitting Ayuk and throwing Olave in? I don't want to sit Ayuk at all. The matchup is so good. Like Philly's passing secondary is bad. They are allowing the single most fantasy points per game to receivers, the single most receptions per game to receivers, the third most receiving yards to receivers, the single most receiving touchdowns to receivers. They're not great. You want Ayuk in your lineup. Jaden Reed's hurt, so I got to start Christian Watson. What about Jerry Jeudy? I hate Jerry Jeudy. I hate his ass. Maybe this is his one big fucking game, but I'm not playing him over Christian Watson. Nah. Nah. Yeah, no, neither is. Yeah, listen, like Swift has been fucking awesome. If you picked him up and you've been playing Swift, like, shout out to you. He's been a really, really good, like, solid piece on teams. I just worry because, like, he hasn't had a super big rushing day since like fucking week 3. He scores touchdowns sometimes, but like relatively infrequently just because Jalen Hurts scores on the goal line every time. Jalen Hurts wasn't scoring fucking 2 rushing touchdowns a game. Swift might have like RB1 overall upside. Legit. But like you look at the games that he scores a touchdown. He scored 4 rushing touchdowns this year. 2 of them came against Washington. So those are like ridiculously high-scoring games with defenses are not good, where everybody's got scoring opportunities. San Fran's not really that. Hang. All right, y'all. We're going to check out here. I got to go beat Guts' ass in Madden. Thank you for hanging out with me on this Saturday. If this is your first time joining on a Saturday, this is Q and Assault. If you want to get assaulted next Saturday, you can go do that by going to your local dive bar or by signing up to be a Big Dog member on BDGE.co. Good luck, everybody, this week. Go clinch a fucking bye. We out here.